I've made it. I've made it. Dashed around, hospital appointments, everything. And yes, this is my glasses. But I'm going to take them off because we're doing eye looks. Now, my eyes are watered a bit, so this has gone a bit. Doesn't look as perfect as this morning. But never mind. Never mind. I'm going to take it off anyway because someone's joined me. Hello, Shoshana. Jack is fine. He's still a bit in pain. So he's at school and he's fine when he's got pain relief. But when he hasn't, he's in a lot of pain. So I went to my appointment this morning and then took him some pain relief. There's no broken bones. I'm taking this eyeshadow off, which you will have seen in an earlier video. It's looking a bit messy now anyway, because my eyes were watering outside. And I'm going to be doing this Daniel Sandler look, which you were all waiting for. And I was going to do yesterday. And I've just picked up another Magic Away in shade 7. So I'm going to show you that, how it compares with the others. And yes, I've ordered. I cannot not order new Charlotte Tilbury now, can I? Because I've become a bit known for my first impression videos of Charlotte Tilbury. You've ordered them too. And I've ordered 3 lipsticks. I was going to order 2 and I thought, no, I'll order 3. I hope I like them. There's a bit of mixed reviews about them. Apparently they've got funny smell and taste to them. And it's to do with patchouli oil, which has got a very strong scent, which is in the ingredients. So I'm not sure what the benefits of having patchouli oil are. Yeah, but I don't think it's a kind of, yeah. Well, patchouli, I looked it up, and patchouli is apparently a woody, earthy smell, so who knows? And apparently the swatches don't look anything like online, they don't look anything like they do in real life. But I'd looked at the Really swatches anyway, so I picked ones that I was happy about on Really. So I got the really bright orange one, because I like that one. Is it? Oh, God. Oh, well, we'll have lips that smell of BO then. Right, I've got to say, I am not... Let me say this now. I might say a bit of this in my review. But I think Charlotte's losing sight of some of her clientele. Tell me what you think. But I saw the advert this morning. The packaging of the new palette. The marketing of the new palette. I think it's just a bit off-putting if you are older. And I thought about, and I thought this morning when I was watching the advert, thank you, Shoshana, I thought if that advert had come on 3 years ago, and they sent me an email, my first order was November 2016. If that had been the advert that had come on 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't have ever bought Charlotte Tilbury. I would have thought, oh, that's not for me, that's for younger people. So I just... She needs to do the tutorials. I think because I think there's a few reasons. I think because Charlotte makes up younger models as part of her day-to-day life. That's one reason. 2, she's obviously got 2 very young nieces who are kind of very much part of the business, either modelling or making up now. And yeah, and I just think that they're going after the younger market, but it could backfire on them because I don't know whether they've got as much disposable income as us ladies of a certain age. Anyway, tell me what you think. I'm not saying some do, but I think they're going after a market and they're excluding another market. And whereas what I liked before is that Charlotte was always like, you can wear this if you're 18 to 80. And she was encouraging people, come on, look at this. You can wear this if you're, you know, she did that one where she put Golden Goddess on her mum who's in her 60s. Right, this is Magic Away in shade 7, which I think is going to be better match for me on my face. Yes, it is. Ta-da! So that's Magic Away in shade 7, because I was running out of the other two, and I thought I'm going to try. Now, this is shade 6, which is nearly gone, as you can see. I'll show you what that looks like. So for any of you that have got similar skin tone to me, it doesn't look that much difference, but it is. It's a bit more neutral, I think. So that's got more yellow in it. And then Magic Away 5. Is it good for highlight? Yeah, if you get a lighter shade. So like this one here is a lot lighter on me. This is 5. So you could use that up here. Or you could use it, you know, it's not going to be a shimmery highlight, but you could do that. Definitely. Pigment is pigment. As I said the other day. And it's good because if you've got fine lines around that area, it does have this kind of pulling effect, which is very good. It's very flattering. And I'm actually going to touch up a bit of this. I'll put shade 6 under my eyes. So I'm going to do this look. I'm going to have to... That stained my eyes a little bit, what I've done this morning. So I'll have to put some on my eyelids as well. And show you what I did. So this was a request from Gaynor. I've heard it's really good too, Shoshana, the Giorgio Armani. Hello, N. Nana. If you tell me your real name, then I'll try and remember to refer to you to your real name. I've heard it is too. And I've got his Power Fabric foundation. I bought so many concealers, it's ridiculous. So I'm just trying to go easy. But yes, it is. I've heard very good things about it. Giorgio Armani is generally very good. So I just put some concealer just to take, because this has stained my eyes a little bit. And then I'll show you how I used the Daniel Sandler palette. Now, Daniel sent me this for free. I always like to be transparent about these things. Because it was when I did the Red Lips Week. And it was a little thank you present from Daniel. He's a lovely man. And the only reason I think he's not better known is because he just doesn't spend all his money on marketing. Exactly, he is awesome. He doesn't spend it all on marketing, but he absolutely cares about... And every time I say this, I start welling up because he's just such a lovely man. It just makes me emotional. And also, I've just had a really horrible hospital appointment. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But, yeah, he's just really committed to making sure that people love his products. And, you know, he will always reply to you if you ask a question. He's just such a lovely man. And you can tell that he's passionate about his art. But he doesn't spend any money, like, on marketing that much. So if you think, yeah, it's all right, but he mustn't be that good because no one's heard of him, that is why. It's because everything is ploughed into making good products, and he's got new products coming out soon, and I can't wait. Definitely going to be trying those. So this is what he sent me as a little thank you. It's a beautiful palette, and it's actually called a Radiant Glow palette. So it's a palette for the face. really. But you can use it on your eyes. You know, pigment is pigment. And so you can use this, like you can sweep a big bronzing powder over your entire face and it will just give you a radiant glow. But you can also use it on your eyes and your cheeks. And it is, if you like the idea of pillow talk, but it's a little bit on the dark side for you, then this is your palette, okay? Because it is really lovely and pretty. And it's just a lighter version of Pillow Talk. And just as good. And I can't remember how much his palettes are, but all his makeup is really reasonably priced. And I'm not saying that because it's free. Because I got it for free. I always need to reassure people of that. You will know I don't use his foundation a lot, and I got that for free because it's not very high coverage and I like higher coverage. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You watched my review. It is, and I've used that palette a lot, and you could see this morning from the video I did why I use it a lot, because it's so versatile. Now, what I did with this, because I think Gayna's bought the products because she wants to recreate this look. So what I did is I went over and I used the shimmery, there's two sort of shimmery pinks. I used the lighter one of the two. And with my fingers, I just pressed that onto my lid. Like so. Now, I said this to Daniel in a private message. And he's like, thank you, my dear. But I meant it. No one does gold like Daniel. I've got to show you this, even though it's not part of the look. Look at that gold. Look at it. Right, hang on. Let me just put some on my hand. Been swatching magic away. I mean, if that was in Bar of Gold packaging from Charlotte Tilbury, you'd all say, wow. You know, it is, I think, better than Bar of Gold. It's stunning. I'll put some in here to show you. So, I keep forgetting which one. No, it's this one I'm using. Yeah. So I'm just popping this one up here. This is the lighter one of the two shades, of the pink shades, onto my lid. Did I put the other one on? Oh, I don't know. No, I didn't. No, I'm just starting to doubt myself. So I did that. And then I got an Essential crease brush. I just wiped that clean from what I was doing this morning. And with the darker pink, which is down here, and it's slightly more matte, I just pop that into my crease. And gave it a good blend. Now, I normally go for something a little bit darker in my crease, but I like the look as it turned out. And I think you should always try and step out your comfort zone a little bit. And then a bit in this one. Now, you can use these wet or dry. So if you wet them, they're going to give you even more of a pop of colour. And then I got Charlotte's smudge brush. And with the shade that I put on my lid, hello, Robin. So I took some of this shade again and I took it underneath to kind of waken up my eyes. So rather than doing something really dark, hi Helena, I thought this would have a brightening effect, which it does. And then with the same smudge brush, wiped clean, I went in with this top shade here as a highlighter and I put it under the brow bone, like so. So it's got a really eye-opening effect, I think. Now, what I did is I popped that in here. Okay, but just to show you what the gold looks like, I'll put some of that over the top. Look at that. In fact, if Pat McGrath had a shadow like that, I'm going to put some in the middle as well. Everyone would be raving about it too, because they'd all hear about it. So isn't that beautiful? Hello, Linda. So I'm using the Daniel Sandler Radiant Glow palette as promised. Now, what I did then is I took a dark liner. I'm not going to get up. Whatever's here is what's going on. That'll have to do. This says Onyx. And I did the upper waterline with it. Just to make my lashes look a bit thicker. Can you see the difference? And then actually what I did, I have got my liners here. What I did on the lower waterline was I used his eyeliner in green. So I said to you, I'm feeling a bit miserable while I'm putting the eyeliner on. I always feel miserable when I come back from having my foot seen. But today they were looking and trying to work out why it's not healing, because it's not healing. It hasn't changed since the middle of December, really. And it always gets to me how they just try and dump it onto the patient, why it's not healing. What are you doing? Are you not resting? Are you not doing this? Are you not doing that? And today I asked a simple question. I said, should I just be wearing my shoes full time in the house? You know, because they've got all sorts of insoles and stuff in it, which takes pressure off. Well, of course you should. Well, that's probably why it's not healing if you haven't been wearing your shoes all the time in the house. And I went, well, I have, but I just, you know, a couple of hours a day, I take them off. And he went, well, no, you need to, yeah, and let's see you back next week. And don't take them off, like, you naughty girl. And, you know, how many people walk into their house and leave their shoes on? Just tell me that. You know, and I was made to feel like I was a really naughty girl because I dared to take my shoes off for 2 hours. Exactly. Dared to take my shoes off for 2 hours and put some slippers on in my own home. I bet you when you come in through the door, at the end of the day, most people kick their shoes off. It's probably the first thing they do. And then if you're anything like me, you take your bra off underneath your top. So I've now got my shoes on, not allowed to, and I was a bit sarcastic. I said, I don't know if he realised I was being sarcastic. But I said to him, can I ask a question? And he said, yeah. I said, you know, when I get up to go to the toilet in the night, I said, is it all right if I don't put my shoes on? And he went, oh, of course. But I was being sarcastic. As I was made to feel like a naughty schoolgirl, I thought I'd ask permission to walk to the toilet without my shoes on. No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did. Mind you, you do get some funny people there. There was one day I went in, and this isn't kind of patient confidentiality because you could hear her outside. I was sitting out in the waiting room, and this woman had gone in to have her foot looked at, and she said, I've come because I'm getting an ulcer on my foot. And she had a really loud voice. I could hear everything she was saying. And she said, oh, well, let's have a look then. And then I heard the podiatrist saying, what's that smell? And then she said, what have you put on your foot? And she said, I've put curry on my foot. She said, because it kills germs. And she doused the ulcer in curry. And I was sat out in the waiting room, and I went in next and I said, look, I know you can't discuss other patients, but I've just been chuckling because I heard every word. I cannot believe it. Did she seriously put curry on her foot? She sort of smiled and said, yeah, you see all sorts of things here. Can you believe it? Yeah, use a curry palette. Yeah. I'll just refresh my mascara. So that's Daniel's eyeliner. Now, when my eyes are not really streaming, that stays on and it doesn't budge. If my eyes start watering straight away before it has a chance to set, which is what happened last week, then it did. But I don't think that's a fair test. But if it's got chance to dry before my eyes start watering, that stays put and I don't get that little bit that collects in the corner. And they're £9. How large is it? At the moment, it's about that big, but it's right on my heel. Yeah, so they're as big as that hole in between. Yeah, and I don't have a lot of sensation in my feet because of the nerve damage, but I can feel this. Anyway, let's get on to the cheeks. So with the cheeks, what I did first is I took a setting brush and with the two pink shades mixed together, I used it as a blush. Oh, now, what's that mean, Helena? Oh, now. But this, I think, is as good as Pillow Talk. And if you've got fair skin, I think it's possibly better. So, and then, oh, no. Oh, right. And then I took these two shades here. So the top one and the gold one. Wait for it, ladies. And I use that as a highlighter. Now, I did put Pillow Talk on this morning, but I think a lot of that has come away because I've been dashing around so much. And then with just the top highlighter, because I don't like to put gold highlighter down the centre of my face, I just swept some of that down here. Like so. And then before I finish with this palette, don't go mad with this, but then you can take a big fluffy bronzer brush and you can just swipe it over the whole palette like so. Give it a bit of a tap and then go over your entire face and it will just give you that radiant glow. Okay, and then I used Daniel's lipstick in Pucker, which I shall get for you. So I'm just recreating this look. So this was a request by Gaynor. Pucker. Oh, hang on. I never criticise women's makeup, but I saw a woman the other day who had a giant gold streak down her nose. Poor thing, didn't. Oh, dear. And you never know whether or not to say, do you? And now this is Pucker. He has lovely lipsticks. And again, his lipsticks, they are really nicely packaged. And I got this free, but not from Daniel, from Beauty and the Boutique. So, but this is really nice packaging, and they cost about £14. So this is Pucker. And again, if you want, put a little dot on your cheeks, just on the apple there, and blend that in, just to give you a bit more rosiness right in the centre of the cheek. And that is what I did the other day. Isn't that lovely? Now, please ask any questions you want, because that's me done. I'm not going to get up. I don't feel like getting up, but I was going to spray my face. Imagine I've sprayed my face. Because when... No, hang on, I will. Just hold on a second. Just my foot's a bit uncomfortable, having just been treated. So I'm going to shuffle my chair across to get what I need. That's it. Because when you spray this, it makes you glow even more. I'm just going to spray this with the MAC Cherry Blossom Fix Plus. Okay. And please ask any questions. And I was in the middle of, when I got interrupted yesterday to come away to go and see Jack, who is fine, by the way, everybody who's just joined. He's not broken any bones, but he is in a bit of pain. So he's having to take regular painkillers. But I was asked, I was just about to show you the difference between Daniel's primer and Trini London's, I've forgotten what she calls it now, but I'll find it. And then I'll find it and then you'll know what it is. And I've also got here her BFF eye cream. Let me find what I'm looking for. Where are you? Is it here? No. That's the only thing about Miracle Blur. Thank you. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. The only thing about Trini Stacks is it can get so frustrating looking for what you want because everything looks the same. And when I got the BFFI, I thought I was going to have to send it back. The lid was so tightly on, I couldn't get it off. Eventually, I got it off with, I wrapped an elastic band around the top. It was so tightly on, I could barely get the thing off. Right, so that is the Miracle Blur. And I wanted to get Daniel's primer to show you that. Where are you, Daniel's primer? Are you in here? You are. So, and also you get a free Daniel Sandler bag with most purchases. I don't think you have to spend a lot. Just remember to tick it off in the basket. Otherwise, unless you tick it off, you don't get it. But it's good because you can see inside it. Anyway, right. So this one is Daniel's. Now, this came out of a question from Helena about a primer that is good at filling in. So filling in pores, filling in fine lines, filling in this kind of thing. Right, and I said Miracle Blur is good and Daniel's is good. Now, the only reason I would say Daniel's, Trini's if you want it in a stack, right? And you've got a stack and you want to add it to your stack, definitely. But I think they're quite similar products. Now, Trini's is, I think most of her things are about £24, £25, aren't they? She's got 4 grams of product in hers. Daniel's got, how much is in this? 28 grams. So it's a lot cheaper and it does the same thing. And what it is there's silicone in it. So I'm going to show you Daniel's. I'm going to leave it there in a blob. Can you see that? Can everybody see that? Let me just put the cap on there. That's his primer. And it's got silicone in. And I'm going to show you in a minute how it fills things in. And then I'll show you Trini's Miracle Blur. Now that's got a slight pinkish tone to it. So it has got a bit more colour but I would say they feel very similar. Yeah, it probably was the turmeric. But really, you know, when you've got an open wound, even putting turmeric on it is probably not a good idea. But she put curry on it. Right, so can you see they actually look quite similar in texture, but this has got a bit more of a pink, so maybe that's got more of a brightening effect. You're all still talking about the curry. And then, of course, Charlotte's curry palette. That always makes me laugh. So I'm just going to show you. This might have a little bit more brightening because it's got pink in it. And this is Daniel's. So Daniel's, Trini's. So let me just... I'm just going to show you that for a bit longer. Can you see that? She'd have been better putting honey on. Oh, you jumped from stacks to... I was thinking, what did you want Trini to put honey on? Then I realised you were talking about the wounds. Okay, so I'm going to... Let's see if I can... You see these lines here? And these pores here? I could try and put some under my eyes, actually. Let's do that. I'll put some under my eyes. So here's Daniel's. I'll put Daniel's here and I'll put Trini's there. So I'll just take a little bit there. And because it's silicone is the ingredient that you want. And because it's got silicone, it will kind of fill up lines and make it smooth. So it's a bit like the other product that's got silicone in that you've probably heard a lot is the Professional primer by Benefit. Right, so that is going to smooth out. So now whatever I put over that, if I put Charlotte's concealer on, I'll do that and I'll put the same concealer over the top. And if I do that up here as well, it should sort of fill in some of those lines for me. Do you see that? Because of the silicone, it's just going into those lines and filling them up for me. I mean, they're more like crevices on my forehead because I spent my life doing that. Okay, so that's Daniel's primer, which is called Silky Skin Pro Finish Face Primer. And you get 28 grams of product in there. And I can't remember how much it is, but you can also buy a sample on his site for £2 to just try it if you want to. Can you see how that has kind of made those lines disappear at the end of my head? Okay, so now I'm going to take Miracle Blur and I'll do the same thing. And I think they're equally as good, to be honest. But I just think that you get more for your money for Daniels. This feels very, very slightly thicker. Daniels feels a bit smoother, to be honest. But this feels a bit thicker. But similar feel to it when you put it on. Okay, and then I'll fill in some lines on this side of my head. So can you see how that's both sides? I've left them in the middle so you can see the difference. They've both done similar thing. They've just filled in the lines with that silicone. Now if I put Charlotte's magic away, over the top, so I'm putting this over the top of Daniel's first. It should look a lot smoother. This is I'm using shade 7 now, so it's not very brightening, but I'm using my new one. Okay, and then I'll put that over here as well. And you see it's just taken some of those lines away. In fact, I should use that a bit more on my head. Okay, and now this is Trini's side. So I'm putting the same products over the top so that all that is different is the two products I'm talking about. So possibly Trini's has got a little bit more brightening because of that pink pigment. And if you're putting it under the eyes, it's probably got a little bit more brightening effect. But there's a big difference in the amount that you're getting for that amount of difference. So I just think they're both good products. And it really depends what you're after. If you've got a stack and you want to add it to your stack, then Miracle Blur, very good, and it's got a brightening effect and will work well under your eyes or around your lips if you've got lip lines. I don't have that many lip lines. I've got one here, but can't see it at the moment. But I do have the lines around my eyes and on my head. So Miracle Blur, very good product. But as I say, that's 4 grams as versus 28 grams. And I don't think it's very expensive, this. I don't think it's £25. It might be. I wish I'd checked, but it's very, very good. So I would choose this one over that one just because of the fact that there's more product in there. So it's going to last me longer. And actually, when I run out of Miracle Blur, I might just refill this with Daniels. It's handy to have it in the stack. But as you said, it's not necessarily more convenient having the stack. I just get really annoyed because I come to pull out the stack out of my bag and I'm thinking, oh, where's my foundation? Where's my this? Now, this is Davinia BFF-I. Now, one of you was saying that you weren't overly impressed with it. I think that the big clue here is in the name, BFF. So her BFF cream is not supposed to be like full coverage. And I don't think this is very full. Now, I just put Magic Away on, I know. And I'm going to do a review using this product. But let me just put a little bit over the top here. It's good, but I think some people perhaps were expecting a lot more coverage. I think it looks very natural. And I also think it's very moisturising. You can definitely feel the serum in it. So if you're somebody like me that gets very dry under your eye and you have to put serum under a concealer, then this might be for you. Or the Estee Lauder one that's got the serum at the other end. But this you can feel has got serum in it. So that's BFFI. I'm putting all sorts of concealers under my eye. But you see, because I haven't powdered them, you can build them up. It's only when you start putting powder on them that you can't. Are you all here or have you gone to sleep? Oh, Daniel's primer. Thank you, Ballroom Diva or Julianne. I didn't want to come off to check. It's £22.50. Okay. Does anyone know? Can somebody look up the price of Trini's Miracle Blur so that we can compare the prices, please? Thank you. Because that would be really helpful. I don't want to come off to look it up. Now, you see, that's the other thing. I lose the lids. There it is. So Daniel's primer is £22.50 for 28 grams. And I'm pretty sure that Trini's Miracle Blur is about £25 for 4 grams. So that's why I choose Daniel's. And it's just as good, except it hasn't got that pink kind of brightening effect. But I think that's quite subtle anyway, so it's up to you. I just give you the information. I love Trini. I love Daniel Sandler. I give you as much information as I can, but, you know, it's up to you what you want to get. I just do it from value for money point of view because there's not much else in them. They're both very similar products. Any other questions? £26. There you go. So £26 for 4 grams of Miracle Blur and 22. Thank you, Julianne. Thanks very much. And £22.50 for 28 grams of Daniel Sandler's. And they're very similar, except Daniel's hasn't got the pink. So, but can you see how that's just blurred out the lines either side? Does the blur fill in holes? Yes. Pores. Right, can you see the pores on my cheeks? And around my nose? I get a few around my nose. Which do you want me to put on? The Miracle Blur? I'll do them both again, shall I? I'll put on Daniel's and Trini's. So I'll do Trini's this side on these pores here. See my nose? This probably needs a bit more face finish, to be honest, rather than Miracle Blur, but there are open pores there as well. See how it's filled them in? Right, now I'll do Daniel's the other side. You all seen that? Right, Daniel's the other side. Under foundation normally, but you can see it works over if you want to, but you would normally use this as a primer. But look, you can see I'm putting this over. And it's not really disturbing that makeup too much. I think it's disturbing a bit of that gold that I put on, but it's not really. So that's Daniel's. Can you see how it's filled out the pores? Put a bit round my nose. This is where I wear glasses, and whatever I've put on my nose starts to slide around. Now, let me put on Daniel's. See, my nose is a bit oily, so it's not working quite as well. Neither one worked quite as well on my nose. Now, what I do like of Trini's, I mean, I like that. But what I definitely like, which I haven't seen a similar product, is her face finish. Let me find her. This is the face. Now, where my nose is all oily now, in the middle, from where my glasses have been and whatever. This is like powder, but it's a cream. So if I just put some of this on my nose, it just mattifies it immediately. So that's what I meant about this needs face finish, not blurring primer. So see up there where you see that oil, sort of oil slick. If I just dab some of this on, this face finish, it will just mattify it. And because you're not putting powder on, you can keep layering and layering it up throughout the day. But I think face finish is quite similar. Just hasn't got as much silicone in it. Does that help? Any other questions? Do you see when you do green next to brown, how it brings out your brown eyes? Kind of makes them pop. I've got my Pret here. Let me just look back and see if I've missed any comments. Does it last? Does it last? No, Helena's asking, does it last? What, the primer? Yeah, it does, because what you would normally be doing is you would be putting that under your foundation. So you would then go over with your foundation, like I did on my eyes. If you mean does it last a long time, then yes, the Daniel Sandler one would. I think you use up the Miracle Blur quite quickly. But definitely would probably put it under foundation. Although, as you've seen, it works over the top. So I'm just going to take Daniel's and just go over these lines on my head. You see what it does move your foundation a little bit. So you're better putting that underneath your foundation, which is what it's meant to be. It's a primer. Hello, Mimi. But I would say that definitely this palette, where are you? It is as good, if not better, than Pillow Talk. And if you've got fair skin, I think the only disadvantage, if you've got my colour skin, is that there isn't a darker shade in there to put into the crease. But I think it still works. So Charlotte's is a little bit darker, like a Pillow Talk palette and this. But they're very similar, and I love this. I just love it. And I use it a lot. And you can, as I say, you can use it as a face finish as well. So let's put a bit more over. Now I've put all that mattifying stuff on. Let me put a little bit more over the top. Just to give me a bit of a glow back. Put a bit more of this blusher on. So I'm just putting this on here. I'm just playing. Any other questions before I go? Otherwise, catch me tomorrow. I'm looking younger every day. What you doing? Update us with your skin routine, please. I'm using the... I haven't, to be honest, I have been really lax in using my Foreo. And I must do that because I've noticed my pigmentation is starting to creep back a bit. I've been using my the eye mask by Dennis Gross. I've been using that every day. And I've been using something by Niod called Pigment, which is supposed to help pigment. But I've also been really thoroughly making sure that I put my sunscreen on, and I put it on early in the morning, because of the research that I read about from Dr. Sam. It wasn't Dr. Sam Bunting's research, but she talks about that there's been some research. We always knew that sunscreen helped to prevent aging. It was a good preventative measure. But now there's some research to suggest that it's not only preventative, but it actually can help help the look of aging when it's already there. Because basically the sunscreen, because you're protected, your skin is allowed to kind of do what it needs to do to heal. So it's actually not just... They think it's not just a preventative thing, but it actually might improve your skin as well. And when I heard that, I thought, that's it. It's got to go on first thing. Because I think where I slip up with sunscreen is I do put it on every day, and I put it on in the winter. But if I don't get my makeup on until midday, then that's when my sunscreen goes on. So now I'm trying to make sure that I put it on first thing, whether my makeup's on or not. Okay, I will. My current skincare routine, I'll do that. Certainly. I do, you know, with me, I do tend to kind of go through phases of using certain things and then using something else. And I do tend to respond to my skin. So like last week, my eyes were getting really, really sensitive, as you know, and watering a lot. So I switched back to the eye cream that I rave about, which you all know, the La Roche-Posay Toleriane, because I hadn't been using that. I've been using Charlotte's eye cream, and I've been using a retinol one at night. And because my eyes were quite sensitive, I know that one really works, and because it's got niacinamide in it as well, it really helps to repair the skin where my eyes have been watering. So, you know, when sometimes if your eyes have been watering or you've overdone it with a really harsh skincare product, you feel like the top layer of your skin, there's no oil left in it, and that you've kind of damaged the skin a little bit. A bit like when you're washing your hair and it's squeaky clean because there's no oil left in it. And niacinamide helps that. And I started using that eye cream last week, and it helped. Ah, right. And is that a really good cleanser, Julianne? Is it a cream cleanser? Is it a wash-off cleanser? Because I might be intrigued to try that. The other thing I want to try, but I'm waiting until I run out. I'm trying to be a good girl since I bought lots of Charlotte Tilbury to review for you. But I'm waiting until my sunscreen runs out. The next sunscreen I want to try is Dr. Sam Bunting, because she's actually made a sunscreen of her own, and it's got niacinamide in it. You use Niod and The Ordinary. Yeah, well, Niod Pigment, I got it in the sale half price. A big thing of pigment, and I use The Ordinary a lot. Yeah. I've got so many Ordinary products. I've got vitamin C. I've got niacinamide and zinc. I don't use them all at the same time, but I kind of, depending on what my skin's doing, I've got retinol by The Ordinary. I've got the pure vitamin C powder. I've got, what's that other one that I was talking, Resveratrol, which is really good. There's another one called Alpha Arbutin, which is very good as well for pigmentation. And I think that's it. Oh, and I've got that one. I've got another one that's got peptides in it. Matrixyl, which is a good peptide for anti-aging. But they're all about £5–6. So you can kind of milky cleansing. You use a microfiber cloth to wash it off with warm water. Okay, I might, and they're also very reasonably priced, La Roche-Posay. And if you buy it from France, I think, who was it on here? When I see her name, I'll know. When I see your names, I know. Linda. I'm sure it was Linda that said this. If you buy La Roche-Posay online from France, you get it cheaper. She hates the 11s on her head. I've got the 11s. I just think, you know what? Yeah, I've got the 11s. I've got these lines up here and I've got these lines here. Now, why have I got those lines? I've got these lines because my face is expressive. And when I'm talking to you, my eyebrows go up. And that's why I get this. And from years of singing, when I'm going, you know, that's where I've got those lines from. These lines, yes, they're a sign of aging. But you know why I've got them? Because I've smiled in my life. And that's the way to look at it. If I'd gone throughout life like this, hi everyone, I wouldn't have them. But sorry, I'd rather have smiled and made people happy. So tell your mum that. And this as well, that is from frowning. I can't give you a positive story spin on the 11s because it's frowning. It was from telling you off, wasn't it, Mimi? Were you a difficult teenager? Was that why she's got the 11s? Do I sing? Yes. That's how I got into makeup, because I'm not going to do it now, though. I'm not going to do it now. But I trained, when I first came to London, I trained as an opera singer. And we went to Covent Garden and we did some training in stage makeup. And I was interested in makeup before, but that made me even more interested. So we had to learn how to put stage makeup on. And we had to learn how to contour before we had any contour products. So, yeah. I'll put the link on me singing. And one day I will burst into a spontaneous song. I'm just a bit out of practice and I feel very self-conscious. Because when you've trained as a singer, you get really perfectionist. And if I do a spontaneous one and I don't like it, I'll cringe. It wasn't you that said that. Well, somebody said that they bought their La Roche, and I have it on a couple of occasions. If you go online and look at a French pharmacy, you can often get your La Roche-Posay cheaper and Bioderma cheaper than you can in the UK. Right, I'm looking at these comments before I go. I have my music exam. I've got a music degree, Mimi. So if you need any help with your exams, just message me if I can remember any of it. But I have a music degree. From France, £6. Ah, you get your retinol from France. Well, £6, that's very good. And I will put a link of me singing. Please help you. Oh, I will if I can remember it all. It's some time ago since I did my music degree, because I'm the same age as your mum, in my 40s, in my late 40s. Okay, so I do, but I'm not using Facebook very much. Are you on Instagram? Because I've kind of gone off Facebook a bit recently. The reason I don't, I've been thinking of starting an Ali M's beauty page, but it's a bit complicated because I also do some peer volunteer work for people with spina bifida. And then a lot of people became my friends on Facebook. And then posts got confused. So a lot of the posts got were all about spina bifida rather than to my friends. It all got very complicated. So now if I'm doing anything on Facebook, I want to kind of try and keep it all separate so that it doesn't get into disability, makeup and everything else, because then a lot of my friends that aren't into either of those things kind of get bombarded with things they don't want to read. So, but yeah, I've got Facebook and but if you've got Instagram, I do a lot of direct messaging people on Instagram. So look me up on Instagram. It's Mals70_ Ali M's Beauty, and I do PM a lot of people and we have chats on there. So if you go onto Instagram, I definitely can PM you on that. Yeah, I'm going to think about a beauty Facebook page or a blog. So definitely. All right. So and let me know, Mimi, in the comments below what your Instagram name is, because often people have got different names and then I don't realise it's them. So let me know what your Instagram name is when you're following me, so that I know when you send me it will say, hi, it's Mimi, and I'll know who you are. Anyway, I better go. Jack, bless him, he said, Mum, can you pick me up from school today? I could have done with the rest, given all the running around, because he normally comes home on his own. But you're going to massage me. I think that's a spell check, Mimi. It's all right. I know what you were trying to write. And catch me tomorrow, because I'm going to be doing, I got early access, and I would, if anybody wants early access to Charlotte's, I don't know if it's up on her site for everyone yet or not, but I'm going to put the links below. I put them up last night on my live update about Jack, but there's a link to the new Iconic palette and the new lipsticks. I'll put that underneath in the comments so that if anyone wants a link, and I'll be reviewing those tomorrow. All right, so take care, everyone. Have a lovely day. I'm off to finish my cup of tea. It doesn't matter. I love drinking lukewarm tea. No, I'll just heat it up in the microwave. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed this look. Take care. If you think of anything after I come off, just put a comment below, and you know I'll always reply to you. All right. Have a lovely day.